Look at the camera. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve. This is Everyday Artist, and welcome. And thank you to all of my new subscribers, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. This is Rogue, who has decided to take a nap. She was all excited to start filming. She was dancing and got all excited, and now she's over it. It is July. I hope you had a great 4th of July if you're in the U.S. And safe. We had a nice, quiet 4th of July here. It was fun, just family. We didn't do fireworks or anything. Most of the week I was with a gentleman doing respite for his family, and I enjoy this man. He likes to talk about when he was young and his wife and children that have gone on and his siblings that have gone on. And you know, it's so... how do I want to put this? It's so easy for me as an outsider to be able to talk with him about these people because I don't know them. And I'm not close to their deaths or what have you. And so he can tell me all about it. And I think that helps him. And he just, he makes me not miss my dad so much. Now, my dad didn't have memory issues, and this man does, but it doesn't matter. They're approximately the same age, and I just love talking to him. Sometimes I don't understand what he's saying, but you know, I get some kind of idea and I try to respond appropriately. But it was a nice week spent with him. So, but I took all of my cross stitch with me. And I thought I was going to get tons of cross stitch because all I'm doing is basically house sitting and taking care of the man. They don't have me doing household chores or, you know, there's nothing to do except take care of him. And that's not very difficult. He makes it very easy. But, you know, when you're not in your normal stitching space, I couldn't sit back because the couch is like very much like this one. My legs are kind of short, so I couldn't sit back without, you know, doing this. I can't stitch like that. So it was not as easy for me to stitch. Plus, I was so cold. The whole house wasn't cold, but right where I was sitting, the vent was going on me, and because it's so hot, and I'll talk to you about that in my temperature chart, the air conditioner was going almost all the time. I had a sweater and a blanket on, and I was still cold. So I didn't want to be down there once he'd gone to bed, and I went upstairs, and there's just not any way for me to stitch comfortably upstairs. So I didn't get as much done as I thought I would. That seems to be a constant refrain in my life. I need to get more done than I thought I would, and not necessarily just about cross stitch. Anyway, my sister made some things for the Etsy shop, which I have not put in yet because I got back Saturday and we were busy until like 11, and then, you know, church on Sunday, and we went to go see my sister and I went to go see that movie Sound of Freedom. It was fantastic. If you get a chance to see it, go see it. Yeah, it's heart-wrenching, but it's good. And so I was going to put those on today, and hopefully they will get up today. it doesn't seem like it would take that long, but after I take the pictures, I have to wait for them to upload so that I can get them on a different device. So, excuses, right? Anyway, as you recall, I showed you, I bought another bag of charms for the citrus bag that I made. And so my sister made some needle minders from that. She made another lemon charm because we were sold out. So there's a lemon, slice of lemon, and they're stuck together right now. I have to take them apart. An apple, and a grapefruit. If you get the magnets too close to each other, they pop together. You can even snap your fingers in between. So sometimes I just stack them one on top of the other. A strawberry slice. A watermelon wedge. And yes, it's a fruit. A cucumber slice. You know, when you're brought up, you think of cucumbers as vegetables until you go to school, and then they say, no, that's not a vegetable, it's fruit. See, it has seeds. You're like, but it's green. Yeah. And then I don't know if I mentioned here on this channel, but on our Three Sisters channel, I talked about, I bought these charms to make with those patriotic beads I bought. And the what is this called? This. It seems like it's in the middle, but this half of the eagle is heavier than this half, or the other way around. I don't remember which. And so it hangs at an angle this way, I think. I don't know. And I was very annoyed because I really like this eagle. I was like, that is never going to make a scissor fob that I'm going to want to sell because it doesn't hang right. So we made a needle minder out of them. Works perfectly. I really like that. And I was happy that my sister was able to find a magnet set that worked real well on the back. And so hopefully those will be up later today. So what to do next? Well, I'll do my cross-stitch camp piece. Now, for July cross-stitch camp, we're supposed to do something that grows. And I chose Chesapeake Bay Treasures No. 5 Seahorses by Ardith Design. Now, if you look, the seaweed is green, and the seahorse and the border are not. And so I started stitching it. After I started stitching it, I looked at the color key, and the symbols are backwards for it. So if I followed the symbols, I'd make a green border and outline and a green seahorse, and the seaweed would be brown. Yeah, I'm going to do it the way the picture looks because I like that better. Anyway, I really like this cute little seahorse. I liked some of the others in the series, but this was the one I liked best. one of my sisters said, how come you're always doing sea themes and ocean themes? I'm like, I don't know, I really like them, but I'm attracted to those kind of things. I just don't want to live on the ocean anymore. So, and it has nothing to do with the humidity, although there is that, right? Anyway, this is as far as I've gotten. This is part of the middle seahorse, and I've got the first little side seahorse. So it should come up to about here. Not a very big thing. This is the bottom. So that's where I am. So I'm just past this eye right here. So it doesn't look like a seahorse yet. Let it go. I was doing the green, and then I just got where I was like, I don't want to count all that. I need to put in more stuff that I don't have to count. So I was going to go ahead and go with the brown and go here, and then I'd have to go all the way across again. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do the seahorse and get some of this other seaweed in, and then I'll worry about the border, because that'll help me count the border and count it correctly. And I probably should have ironed this before I showed it to you, but you know. And I'm doing this on 14 count malachite by DMC. And I'm using DMC and a Cosmo thread. And the pattern gives you a silk number, and it gives you a Cosmo number, and it gives you a DMC number. And I'd never tried Cosmo before, and they had it in just the green. And I said, well, I'll try it. I don't notice any difference in it at all. I don't see any advantage to it or disadvantage to it. And since I have lots of DMC, I'll just stick with DMC. So anyway, that is my August cross-stitch camp piece. Not August, what is this? July. And I might actually finish that one. I was really sad that I didn't finish the robin, and I still want to finish that. But, you know, I'm doing a lot of other stuff this month, so maybe not. And then WIPGO for July. My spring bookmarks were called. That's by CrossStitchingForFun. And Halloween Gnomes, I think, was the other one. I haven't started that one. I've started it, but I haven't started that WIPGO thing. And also, she called the middle spot, and so that's my time, time to make myself work on some of my own designs. So I did do some work on it, and here is what it will look like. And this is where I am on the green one. I started Mary. I have to put the hair and the other part of the angel in. I can't do the back stitching on it until I'm done with the rest of it. So doesn't have a lot of back stitching, but it does have some. So and then it'll be done. And then I have to figure out how I want to finish this. I have some ideas. I don't know. And then I also have something else that I want to FFO, so I have to decide how I want to do that. So that is one of my WIPGO. And I'm supposed to do 15 days on that, and so far I've done 2, 3. I don't know if I'm going to get the 15 days, but I'll try. So the other WIPGO project is the spring bookmarks. and I am working on that center one. I thought I would be much further along by now. I'm not at 10 days yet, which is the goal, but I've done the better part of 10 days. This is how far I've gotten. I would really like to finish it because I think it's really, really pretty. The colors look really, really good on this purple. Now, up here, there's a bud right in there, and then the rest of this border just goes around. And of course, the repeat of the yellow flower. When I was over there, I didn't have all the colors with me. But the center part of it, except for this, is done. So I'm getting there. I don't know if I'll finish it or not, but I'm getting there. And wow, we are done already. Lastly is the Sapphire Mountains Handcrafts 2023 temperature style. And I adjusted the temperatures like by 10 degrees or so. And for the hottest temperature, I put 115 plus. But it is my understanding that it might get past 120 this coming week. I might need to add another color. I'll have to look at all of DMC's colors to see what would be appropriate. So last week, there were 2 days that were 115. And then we had 2 that are 113. One that was 111, 109, and 108. Now, 109, 108, those don't even faze us. But once it starts getting over 110, there is a heat warning where they tell you, don't spend any time outdoors. Now, we keep trying to tell tourists that even though it's nice and cool and beautiful in the morning, please don't go outside. Don't spend a lot of time outside. They never listen. We are already having people having to be rescued or dying on our hiking trails. If you ever visit Phoenix in the summer, it's hotter than you think. Don't walk across big roads because you'll get overheated by the time you get to the other side. It doesn't feel as hot. I lived in a few different climates. And I've lived in Belgium where it's wet and cold, right? And I've lived in Florida where it is wet and hot. And here. And you don't feel the heat in the same way here. Especially if you start out your activity in the morning. It sneaks up on you because your body's cooling system works properly. You sweat, you know it's hot, but it doesn't feel as hot as it actually is. So people who are not from here get in trouble all the time. Even people from here get in trouble. So I went today to get my car washed, professionally washed. I do that when the inside of the windshield is cloudy, from the heat causing the plastic of the dash to make the windshield cloudy on the inside. And I just don't feel like crawling all over to try to clean it. So I take it to be professionally cleaned every so often. I even worried about doing that today, but I got it done in the morning, so I wasn't, those guys are outside working in the heat. I worry about them. Okay, enough of that. So this was the first week of July. And these are the 115 days. And these pinker days are the ones that were below 110. So I think we're going to see a lot of this color coming up. But if it gets to 120, I think I'm going to pick a different color. My sister suggested white, because, when stuff gets really hot, it turns white, And that is a thought. Anyway, suggest a color for me, because I thought I had adjusted it enough. I thought maybe it would get to 119 or something, but if it goes 120, and they're expecting it to this week, I don't know what color, but I want to have something to signify that it got that hot, because, wow. Now, I won't be using any of the colors that are the colder colors, like, these colors. I think that's for really cold, that purple one. So I could take the color that's for the coldest one and use that, but these colors don't really signify heat, do they? So, I don't know. I went ahead and bought them because never say never, right? Since I've been living here in Phoenix, there was a day when it snowed in Scottsdale. Now, being able to see snow on the mountain in Scottsdale is so unusual that people were stopping on the freeway to take pictures of it. Yeah. Not to say that it hasn't gotten cold in Scottsdale since then. I think last winter there were a couple of days, and maybe there were snow flurries in Scottsdale. It was cold there last winter. And it will snow in Tucson, because the mountain there is actually, high. Higher than it is here. Phoenix is, it's desert landscape for the most part, but it's kind of in, how do I explain it? Not in the foothills of a mountain, but there are things that are higher than hills. I live in an area that is called very close to the foothills of South Mountain. But when you look at South Mountain, it doesn't look like what I think of as a mountain. It's a brown hill. And it has scrub stuff on it, no cactus. Excuse me. It doesn't have any lush green that you would think of, that I think of as a mountain. And I remember driving some men from Korea, I believe. And they asked me, why are your mountains brown? Our mountains are green. I said, well, yeah, if you get to higher elevations, they're green here too. But I digress. So, speaking of cactus on the mountain, there is an area that you drive through here in Arizona where all the plants that you see on either side are saguaro. It's like a forest of saguaros. And it's kind of cool. I mean, in between that is other scrub brush and, stuff like that. But it's just like this area where the saguaro grow very well, and so there's a lot of them. And then as you get lower, fewer and fewer. But very different from mountainous areas, other places I've lived. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, that's all I have. I wish I had more to show you, but I don't. I don't know. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember. I have very little memory. What is that thing that Pooh Bear says? I'm a bear of very little brain. Is that what he says? Yeah. Anyway, that's the way I feel lately. So, I will see you next week, and hopefully I'll be more prolific than I have been this week, and get more done. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.